One Florida town just lost more home value than any city in America. Prices there are crashing a full 10% in 2026, and the buyers? They're gone, vanished, like they were never there at all. But here's what should really keep you up at night. It's not just one town. Right now, across the Sunshine State, for sale signs are piling up on lawns while nobody comes to knock. Homes are sitting empty for months, and sellers, desperate sellers, are getting beat up by buyers who have all the leverage. Even scarier, half of all Floridians now say they want to leave. So what happened to the American dream state? Why are people fleeing paradise? And which towns got hit the hardest? Today, we're counting down the 10 Florida towns where buyers have completely disappeared. And trust me, number 1 will shock you. Let's begin. Number 10, Ocala. Let's kick things off deep in the heart of Florida's horse country. Ocala. For years, this was the town everyone whispered about like a secret. Inland, tucked safely away from the coast, far from the crashing waves and the howling hurricanes. People called it hurricane-safe, affordable, peaceful, the perfect escape. And during the pandemic, that reputation turned Ocala into a magnet. Retirees came, remote workers came, and right behind them came the investors and the builders, sniffing out easy profit like sharks smelling blood in the water. They built, and built, and built some more. But here's the cruel twist nobody warned them about. While the prices shot straight up into the sky, the paychecks of the people who actually live and work in Ocala stayed flat on the ground. And that gap, that widening dangerous canyon between what homes cost and what locals can actually afford, became a trap. Adam data now flags Ocala as one of the Florida metros where prices actively slipped, heading into early 2026. Think about what that really means on the street. A teacher, a nurse, a young couple starting out. They look at a listing, do the math, and simply walk away. There's no bidding war, no frantic offer, no, we have to act fast, just silence. The buyers don't negotiate, they don't lowball, they disappear entirely. And that's the terrifying thing about a market like Ocala's. It doesn't crash with a loud dramatic bang, it dies quietly. One unsold home becomes 2, 2 become 10. For sale signs start collecting dust and rain, standing in front yards like little tombstones for deals that never happen. So if you're watching Ocala right now, keep your eyes locked on one number above all others, days on market. Watch how long these homes are sitting before they sell, because that number is climbing, and it's the earliest, clearest warning sign that the buyers here have already checked out. Ocala is only number 10. It gets so much worse from here. Number 9, Palm Bay. Now let's swing all the way across the state to the Space Coast, where rockets roar into the sky and the future once felt limitless. Palm Bay. This town rode one of the most exciting waves in all of Florida. The explosive growth of nearby Melbourne, powered by aerospace, defense, and cutting-edge tech jobs. For a while it looked untouchable. Good jobs, ocean breezes, and homes that seemed like a bargain compared to Miami or Tampa. What could possibly go wrong? Everything, as it turns out. Palm Bay didn't just grow, it overheated. It got hot too fast, too soon, and burned right through its own good fortune. Builders raced to throw up entire neighborhoods almost overnight, betting the boom would last forever. And now the analysts are ringing the alarm bells. Palm Bay is flagged as a market on a clear downward track heading into 2026. Let me paint you the picture, because it's a haunting one. Imagine driving down a brand new street in Palm Bay. Every house looks nearly identical. Same beige paint, same little palm tree out front, same fresh sod. And in front of almost every single one, a for sale sign. Dozens of near-twin homes, all listed within weeks of each other, all fighting for the same tiny handful of buyers who never showed up. So what happens next is a slow-motion race to the bottom. One seller drops their price to stand out. Then the neighbor panics and drops theirs even lower. Then the next neighbor does the same. It's a desperate, silent war of price cuts, each one hoping to be the one home that finally sells before the whole block sinks together. This is what happens when supply explodes, but demand quietly slips away. The buyers gain all the power, and the sellers are left praying. Palm Bay had the jobs, it had the beaches, it had the future, but none of that could save it from the oldest rule in real estate. Build too much and the buyers vanish. And they have. Number 8, Lakeland/Winter Haven. Sitting right in the sweet spot between two giants, Tampa on one side, Orlando on the other, Lakeland should be a guaranteed winner. On paper, it's the perfect location, close to everything, central to the action, the kind of town that should never, ever struggle to find buyers. And yet, here it is, sitting firmly at number 8 on our countdown. So what on earth went wrong? Greed, and a whole lot of concrete. Let me hand it straight to the experts because a global advisor from Sotheby's said it better than I ever could. This city saw a boom in new construction. Now it has an inventory glut and a noticeable uptick in foreclosures. Read that again slowly. An inventory glut, meaning way too many homes, and rising foreclosures, meaning people are losing the homes they already have. That is a poisonous combination. It's the two scariest words in real estate colliding at the exact same time. Home values here are already down around 3% year over year, and Adam confirms Lakeland/Winter Haven as a declining market in 2026. But the raw numbers don't capture the human reality. Picture it. A neighborhood where the builder's brand new unsold homes sit right next door to a house with a bank's foreclosure notice taped to the door. Fresh inventory and desperate sellers standing shoulder to shoulder. For a buyer walking through that street, it's a feast. They can practically name their price. And that's exactly what's happening. When foreclosures climb and new inventory floods in simultaneously, all the leverage, every single ounce of it, shifts to the buyer. They know it, and they use it ruthlessly. Sellers who once dreamed of a bidding war now beg for any offer at all. So Lakeland's location, it couldn't save it, because location means nothing when you built more homes than there are people to buy them. And the ones who did buy are now walking away. The buyers here aren't fighting, they're circling. Number 7, Deltona. Just a short drive north of the theme parks and the tourist glow of Orlando, we arrive at Deltona. And this is where our countdown starts to get truly serious, because Deltona doesn't just make a Florida list. Oh no. Deltona cracks the Realtor.com list of the top 10 fastest falling housing markets in the entire United States. The whole country. Let that sink in. Out of thousands of towns and cities across America, Deltona ranks among the very worst, with prices projected to plunge 3.6% in 2026. So how did a quiet bedroom community end up on a national list of collapse? Deltona was built on a single, powerful promise: affordability. It was the town for the everyday hero, the worker who couldn't afford Orlando's prices, but was willing to make the daily commute. You'd sacrifice an hour in traffic each way, and in exchange, you'd own an affordable slice of the Florida dream. For years, that trade was worth it. That was the entire engine that drove this town. But here's the brutal part. That engine has stalled. Now stack the modern nightmares on top of that fragile foundation. Soaring insurance premiums, rising property taxes, ballooning carrying costs that eat away at every paycheck. And then add the quiet killer, a slowing job migration picture as the remote work dream fades and companies drag everyone back to the office. Suddenly, that affordability math that made Deltona special completely breaks apart. Think about the psychology of it. A buyer who once looked at a Deltona home and saw a bargain, a smart, savvy deal, now looks at that exact same home and sees something entirely different. They see a liability, a money pit, a trap with an insurance bill that never stops growing. And the moment a buyer's brain flips from opportunity to danger, they don't hesitate, they run. That's the story of Deltona in 2026. The one thing it had going for it, cheap homes, got quietly strangled by everything it cost to actually keep one. And the buyers noticed first. Number 6, Punta Gorda. Now we head back down to the Gulf Coast, to a town that is genuinely, breathtakingly beautiful. And that beauty is exactly what makes its story so tragic. Punta Gorda, postcard sunsets, sparkling waterfront, the kind of place people spend their whole lives dreaming of retiring to. But there's a dark shadow hanging over every single one of those gorgeous homes. Because Punta Gorda sits square in the heart of Hurricane Alley. And in 2026, that isn't just a weather warning. It's a financial death sentence. And the data doesn't lie. This is where the story stops being about supply and demand and becomes something far more primal, a battle against nature itself. Let me give you the chilling words of a broker working right in the trenches of markets like this. Whenever a property becomes uninsurable because of hurricane damage, it's significantly devaluing it. It's not just a couple points. Not just a couple points. Read that again. He's describing homes losing enormous chunks of their value, overnight, not because of the market, but because of a storm. Here's the vicious, inescapable trap that's snapping shut on Punta Gorda. A hurricane damages a property. That damage makes it uninsurable. And in America, if you can't insure a home, you almost certainly can't get a mortgage to buy it. And if buyers can't get a mortgage, they simply cannot purchase the house. Full stop. The buyer pool doesn't shrink. It evaporates completely. Picture entire pockets of this beautiful town where homes have been quietly repriced by the sky itself. Not by a slowing economy, not by too much construction, by wind and water. These properties become financial islands. Impossible to insure, impossible to finance, impossible to sell. So the buyers here aren't playing hardball. They're not lowballing. In the hardest hit corners of Punta Gorda, they've made a colder decision than that. They've decided the risk simply isn't worth it at any price. And when that happens, paradise turns into a place nobody can afford to own. Number 5, Naples. Now, you might be thinking that all of this only happens to affordable towns, the budget markets, the bargain neighborhoods, that the rich, glittering enclaves are somehow immune. Well, prepare to be shocked. Because at number 5, we have proof that even luxury isn't safe. Welcome to Naples and Marco Island, the crown jewel of Florida's Gulf Coast, one of the wealthiest, most exclusive stretches of real estate in the entire nation. And it's showing up in Adam's early 2026 price decline data. Yes, Naples falling. If it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. So how does a place with mega mansions, private docks, and celebrity neighbors start losing buyers? The answer is the same monster haunting the whole state, just wearing a much more expensive suit: insurance. In these coastal, hurricane-exposed luxury markets, premiums aren't just high, they're astronomical. We're talking bills that can climb well past $15,000, even $22,000 a year in the most exposed counties. Every single year. Now, you might assume the wealthy can just shrug that off. And here's the fascinating, counterintuitive truth. Many of them won't. Because the people buying multi-million-dollar homes didn't get rich by making bad financial decisions. They run the numbers. And when they see a jaw-dropping price tag plus a 5-figure insurance bill, plus the very real risk of a storm wiping out their investment, even the ultra-wealthy start to hesitate. And that hesitation is the warning siren for the entire market. Think of it this way. The luxury buyer is the canary in the coal mine. When the people with the most money and the most options start pulling back and saying no thank you, it sends a signal that ripples all the way down. If the strongest buyers are getting cold feet, what hope is there for everyone below them? Naples proves the ugly truth of 2026 Florida. This crisis doesn't check your bank balance. It doesn't care if you're buying a starter home or a waterfront palace. The insurance monster is coming for everyone. And even Paradise's elite are quietly backing away. Number 4, Port St. Lucie. We've crossed back over to the Atlantic side now, and we're entering the Final Four, where the numbers get darker and the warning signs flash brighter. Port St. Lucie. And this town is a textbook example of a housing market signing its own death warrant. In fact, a real estate CEO described what's happening here with a phrase so blunt, so chilling, that it stops you cold. He called it the common kiss of death for a housing market. The kiss of death. Let that phrase hang in the air for a second. So what earns a town such a brutal label? His exact diagnosis was this: astronomical pricing far above what local incomes could realistically support. And that, right there, is the silent poison killing Port St. Lucie. The average home here now sits near $390,000, and it's already down over 3% year over year. But the price isn't the real problem. The real problem is the gap. Here's how the kiss of death actually works, step by step. Prices climb higher and higher, chasing outside money and wild optimism. But the paychecks of the people who live there don't budge. So the everyday, normal families, the exact people a healthy town depends on to buy homes, get priced out from the very beginning. From the get-go, they never even get a foot in the door. And now you have a town full of homes that the locals cannot afford, waiting desperately for outside buyers who are no longer showing up. Because the migration wave has slowed. The remote workers went back to the office. The retirees are looking at those insurance bills and getting nervous. So who's left to buy? Almost nobody. And this is the terrifying paradox at the heart of Port St. Lucie. When the only people who can afford your homes are the people who have already left or who never wanted to come, the entire market simply freezes solid. The signs go up, and they just stay up. Number 3, Tampa. All right, we're into the top 3, and this one is going to hit differently because Tampa isn't some small town or quiet suburb. Tampa is a giant, a major metro, a powerhouse. Just 2 short years ago, it was one of the hottest housing markets in all of America. The kind of place where homes sold in hours, bidding wars were brutal, and buyers waived every inspection just to have a chance. It was electric. It was insane. It felt unstoppable. And that is exactly why Tampa's fall should terrify you. Because now, Realtor.com projects a 3.6% price decline for Tampa in 2026, landing it among the 10 fastest falling cities in the entire country. How does a market go from red-hot frenzy to national warning list in barely 24 months? That's the whiplash of 2026 Florida in a single city. But here's why Tampa matters more than almost any other town on this list. It's the size. When a tiny town cools off, the ripples are small. But when a major metro like Tampa starts to sink, it sends a shockwave across the entire state. Tampa is what economists call a bellwether, a signal, a warning light for everyone watching. And think about what that signal does to human behavior. Buyers all across Florida see the headlines, Tampa prices falling. And what's their very natural, very human reaction? They freeze. They think, if even Tampa is dropping, why would I buy anything right now? Why not just wait and watch it get cheaper? And that is the hidden trap, because a buyer who decides to sit and wait is, in every way that matters, an absent buyer. They're not making offers. They're not bidding. They've pulled themselves out of the game entirely, just watching from the sidelines. And when enough buyers do that all at once, demand doesn't just soften, it hollows out. Tampa was the crown jewel of the Florida boom. Now its stumble is quietly convincing an entire state to stop buying. That's the power and the danger of a giant falling. Number 2, Northport. Now we arrive at number 2, and I'd bet money that most of you have never even heard of this town. And that is precisely what makes it so shocking. Because this quiet, under-the-radar little market, tucked inside the Sarasota metro, isn't just falling. It's collapsing so hard that it ranks as the second worst housing market in the entire United States. Not in Florida, in America. Meet Northport. The forecast here is nothing short of devastating. Realtor.com projects Northport home prices to crater a staggering 8.9% in 2026. Nearly 9% wiped away in a single year. For a homeowner, that's tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes more, vanishing into thin air through no fault of their own. So how did an anonymous town nobody talks about become a national symbol of the crash? Let me give you the words of Realtor.com's own analyst, because they're haunting in their bluntness. These metros have already seen prices slip from their pandemic-era highs, and that downward momentum is likely to persist. Persist. That's the word that should send a chill down your spine. This isn't a one-time dip. It's not a stumble. It's momentum. A heavy, unstoppable slide that keeps rolling downhill, gathering speed. Here's the raw truth of Northport. It was pure pandemic boom. It exploded almost out of nowhere, fueled entirely by that frenzy of remote workers and out-of-state buyers desperate to grab a piece of cheap, sunny Florida. It grew fast, it grew wild, and it grew on a foundation of temporary hype. And now, Northport is living through the pure pandemic boom come down. The remote workers went home. The frenzy died, and what's left is a town full of homes bought at the peak, sitting in a market with no one left to buy them. The party ended, the music stopped, and the buyers walked out the door. Northport is the ghost of the Florida boom made real, and it's a warning of just how far a town can fall when the hype finally dies. Number 1, Cape Coral. And here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. The town where buyers haven't just slowed down, they haven't just gotten nervous, they have completely, utterly vanished, more than anywhere else in America. Ladies and gentlemen, our number 1, Cape Coral. Brace yourself, because these numbers are almost hard to believe. Realtor.com projects a 10.2% price plunge for Cape Coral in 2026, making it the only city in the entire United States facing a double-digit collapse. The only one. But it gets worse. Adam data already clocked a brutal 9% drop in the first quarter alone, dragging the median price down to around $341,000. And the firm Cotality, they ranked Cape Coral the single largest annual home price decline in all of Florida, and the second largest in the entire nation. This isn't a slowdown. This is a free fall. And here's why Cape Coral is the perfect tragic finale to our list. It's the entire story of Florida crammed into one single town. Picture what it once was. A dazzling canal front paradise, miles of sparkling waterways, a magnet for retirees chasing their golden years, and remote workers chasing the endless summer dream. It boomed on pure optimism. Builders threw up homes as fast as they could pour the concrete. And then, all at once, the perfect storm hit. Insurance shock. Premiums exploding to numbers people simply couldn't pay. Hurricane risk. Real, devastating, and impossible to ignore. Listen to this gut punch from a local, describing why people are fleeing. Some owners are selling purely because their insurance policy was dropped or reassessed and they couldn't afford it any longer. Read that again. People aren't selling because they want to. They're selling because they've been forced out of their own paradise. The buyers here didn't negotiate. They didn't lowball. In Cape Coral, they did something far more final. They looked at the risk, looked at the cost, and evaporated, leaving behind a canal front dream that's quietly becoming a cautionary tale for the whole nation. So there you have it, the 10 Florida towns where buyers have completely disappeared in 2026. But now comes the most important part of this entire video, because information without action is just anxiety. So let's turn all of this into a real plan you can actually use. If you're a buyer, congratulations, because this is your moment. The experts are crystal clear. You now hold negotiating power, endless inventory, and desperate sellers offering concessions. So here's your move. Never accept the first list price in these towns. Ever. Come in informed, ask for closing cost credits, and, this is the big one, get an insurance quote before you make an offer, not after. In Florida, that insurance bill can make or break the entire deal. If you're a seller, I have to be honest with you, because it might save you. The old game of list high and wait is now financial suicide. The data proves it. Overpriced homes sit, then drop, then sit longer, then get beat up. Your move is simple but painful. Price it right on day one. Realistic pricing is the one lever you truly control. And if you're a watcher or investor, track two numbers like your money depends on it, because it does. Days on market and insurance premiums by zip code. Those two metrics predicted every single town on this list before the prices ever fell. And for everyone watching, here's the mindset shift that separates the winners from the victims. A falling price in Florida is not automatically a deal. A cheap home with an uninsurable roof isn't cheap. It's a trap. The people who win in 2026 are the ones who look past the sticker price and calculate the true cost of ownership. So, did any of these towns surprise you? Are you living in one right now, watching it happen on your own street? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this saved you from a bad decision, smash that like button and subscribe for our next deep dive. Quick but important note, This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not financial, investment, or real estate advice. Markets are volatile and hyperlocal, and these 2026 figures can change fast. Before you buy or sell anything, please consult a licensed real estate professional and financial advisor who knows your specific situation. Your home is likely the biggest purchase of your life. Treat it that way.